it interpreted as PHP code, not just a normal string, and it executed that. Now we have a zero parameter where we can execute shells. So again, this video is about Privesc, so let us go shell. Let us just use this. Let's have a normal latitude to smear. Let's execute that, and there we go, Shan. So I get, what do I do when I get a shell? The first thing that I like to do is to stabilize the shell. So let us do that. Then we get the rows and the columns. Having 4 rows, 154 columns. And then I like to run this as well for some lovely colors. So now we have a shell base again, fully stable. I'm pressing Control C, it doesn't run out of the shell. Lovely. Eric, you Control L to clear, etc. So again, what I like to do, if I like to go to temp, and then I like to do some basic things. So I am running as www there. Cool. We are running on this version. Cool. 54 bits. That is good to know. And okay. And it's always nice to see pseudo permissions. Okay. We don't have any special pseudo permissions. We can manually look around for SRD binaries. There's a lot of things that I like to be honest, for Privesc, but to keep it just simple and concise. So we come to run anything as sudo. Let's see if there's any interesting SCID binaries. Let's see. So when you're unsure about some SRD binaries, go to this site right there. It's amazing. So we can look at ping, for instance. Okay, ping doesn't have anything. SU will have something with us with pseudo permission. I'll show you. Yeah. So I think all of this looks pretty normal. So let's grab the entities and then just do some enum. This is the good box, but also didn't have anything immediately obvious, and that's good. There are again many things I like to check. I like to just see what services are running under root, for instance. So we could see that cron is running. Hachi2 SSH thrumming. This is a little interesting. Either nothing obvious now, but just getting a overall view right. I also like to see which ports are listening. So we can see that these ports are listening. Nothing groundbreaking here. Let's see if we can resolve it to get the DNS stuff. Boots PC on port 68, interesting. So nothing incredibly interesting so far, but we're just slowly building us an image, right? That's exactly what we want. So let us grab the limp piece binaring so we can actually transfer it over and get it drumming. And I really hope you guys are enjoying these videos, just to see fully raw what I'm doing, what I'm thinking. Hopefully that is quite helpful to you guys. That is what I am doing them. So let's see if we have delegates. We do have delegates. That's good. So our IP is at M8 2410. And we want to transfer lint piece like this. There we go. And if we do have write permissions in this directory, so it's perfectly fine, then let's make it executable. We can do like this. We can verify that it's executable and that it's executable. So now we can do this, and then I'll just tee it like this so we have the output. There we go. So it was just quite slow. So now if we sim the light, we can see some output. So let's see if we see anything useful there. So again, limp test does bring a lot of output. That is fine. It can be overwhelming. The nice thing about limpis is how much output it gets. And that is also the bad part. The night it's definitely more good than it's bad. So a lot of this information is not really important. Here we find, okay, so this is for sure interesting, this one. So if you're doing a box write, what I would recommend is also like just having notes, something like this, and then, like for instance, you could also have it in a charity. Personally, I do it in a charity when I was doing the OSCP, but it's just important to have it somewhere. But because it's easy to forget things, right? There's so much information. So running processes, we kind of looked at this earlier. So we can see that it's also seeing that it's running Apache. It finds our reverse shell. or I mean our where we stabilized our shell. So there is a lot of information. This is impossible. Probable, less probable. So again, we could just like grab this information right here and just have it there. But what looked the most interesting for sure was this part right here. So it seems to be running a cron job every minute, I think, under the user Archangel, and we're currently running under the user of www data. So that would be a Privesc of sorts. So let's see the permissions on this particular file. So I have write and read and executable rights. So that is good. So this is the cron job, and I have write permission, and it's getting executed under the context of Archangel. That should be pretty done deal then. I think this should literally just be very simple. So then I will grab a reversal. I will just use a basic bash one. Let me grab this one right here. And let me opt hello world. Let me just do this. And then if I cat it, there we go. So there we got a new shell. And we essentially this Privesc us from www data to Archangel. So this is a new context. So we would have to stabilize this shell again, which is a bit annoying, but that is perfectly fine. So let us not use RLRAD, just use normal and netcat, and then let's get ready to stabilize it again. So it executes every minute. So that is perfectly fine. There we go. So that is not what I want to execute. So this one will be a bit smaller, yeah. 36 rows and 132 columns. So we can grab this flag. There we go. But secret. Fine. What's in secret? All right. So that is probably the Privesc already. Can't we read this? Yeah, we can. So back up. We can execute this, but we cannot write it. And we can also read it. So let's see what this is. So it's some form of binary. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the most likely attack route, but let's try it out. So, if you guys are not familiar with this attack, it may be a bit tricky to explain, but I'll try my best to perform it and then also explain it. So let me go back to my... So let's look for... Yeah, so nothing with 0 permissions. We don't have creds. And let's look at the SUID binaries. So this one is definitely not common. So this is most very likely the way to get root. So we can either cat it, but you can see a lot of it is not very readable. It's a binary. But the interesting part is this. At least this seems the most interesting to me. We can also use it with strings. So, yeah, sorry, I'm blind. There we go. So the reason why this is dangerous is because SUID binaries, let me show you actually. So if we do this, we can see that it has this S right there. And if you manage to execute the binary in a way that it does a reverse connection to you, etc., then regardless of who executes that binary, you will essentially get root. That's what SUID binary does. So that's why it's so dangerous. But there's a lot of legitimate SUID binaries like this one and this one and this one you can't really exploit. But this one looks vulnerable to me because of, again, let me show you. Because of this. It just says CP. Now it will work, the code will work. But if I do this, where is CP? If they wrote bin CP, this attack wouldn't work. But yeah, before I get too cocky, let's try to actually exploit it. Not like this, let's say. Let's fire something like this. So let's do echo path. And remember, the CP isn't bin CP. So if I export path to this, and then I echo path again, you will see that temp become before anything else. And when we execute the CP one, right? If it's at user CP, not bin CP, I mean, then it would never be executed first, even if I, so let's just try. So let me try to create a reverse shell. It's very tricky to explain, but it will be a lot easier once I demonstrate. So we want it in temp specifically, and this doesn't really matter. This is just a cron job that runs. I guess we should use a different port then. Yeah, let's just use 4444. That's fine. Or 444. And then let's add this in temp. And then it has to be called CP. It has to. So again, when we take a look at the path, when CP is trying to be executed, it will look for CP first there, and then 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 there, etc. And that's why that's why creating a SCOD binary without specifying the full path of the binary is extremely dangerous. And I will show you why again. So let's find a binary. So yeah, there you go, CP. And then it backs up everything here, but we don't really care what the rest of it does. Because this entire script runs as an SCOD binary, which means it runs its roots, which means when the system tries to find CP, so when I run the script, right, the backup, it will try to go and execute every binary in here. And since this is one of them, right, CP, it will again look for the path and find the right path where CP is. But since I exported the path to temp being first, it will look for the CP here first. And again, we have made a file called CP. So let me make CP executable. And let me cat CP. So I am now created CP to be a bash reverse shell. I do believe that if I now go and execute this file in secret, I should get a shell. So sorry, backup. I think this should work. Yep, there we go. Root. So this is a bit tricky to explain, but hopefully I did a fine job at it. It's one of the a bit more confusing Privesks, but again, the process is the same. Use linpiece, learn the basic attacks. Again, do the rooms that I've suggested. They have every single thing that I am showing here and more. I'm just giving you guys these video courses to make it simpler to kind of conceptualize and to go through. But yeah, SCOD binaries are super interesting in general. In this case, this was a custom-made one. I could tell that it was autoplace, right? So it could be vulnerable. So we catted it, then we looked at it with strings. We saw that it didn't have the CP binary with a full path. And then we can do this type of path hijack with an SCOD binary, essentially. So yeah, this was his box. Hope this is really useful. This could definitely come on the OSCP in general. All of these Privesc could definitely come on the OSCP. Privesc is crucial to know in general, but yeah. Hope this video was helpful, guys. Have a nice one. So if you want to join our academy and have full access to all of our video courses and all of our cheat sheet and have full access to me as your mentor, and you want to join our community, then click the link down below. If you're actually serious about taking the OSCP, this is an absolute no-brainer. I will see you there, guys.